That empathy is at a low ebb nowadays, and everyone wants to see things that reinforce the idea that your beliefs are unchallengeable, right? And it is bled into our media so deeply that when you get a challenging piece of fiction, it upsets people. And I'm here to tell you, that's what movies are supposed to do. It's supposed to upset you. Even Disney movies. It can range all the way to, like 120 Days of Sodom, all the way down to Bambi. But at some point, like, you feel a paper cut on your heart. Like, that's part of what storytelling is. And like, if it's really good, it makes you reflect on your own choices and gives you the tools to examine how you have lived your life. That's where the moral part comes in, is you look at yourself, not you wait for everyone to applaud you.
Welcome to another CG garage where the monstrous moon shines. We're building new Hollywood like in 1971's prime. From our turbo dreams to AI's fever dream, where tech meets the silver or LED screen. Pixels and passion are pipelines unknown to host one show on a day.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the CG Garage. This is episode number 534, where Daniel and I get back to something that we absolutely love, which is talking about movies. Yes, it's just Daniel and I, and today we decided, because of us being so excited about what's going on with the Oscars specifically, and how some really amazing films have been nominated for 2025, we decided we're going to discuss two of those movies, which is going to be Marty Supreme by Josh Safdie, as well as P.T. Anderson's One Battle After Another. And we love these movies. So that's one spoiler, although there will be many, many more spoilers in this episode. So if you haven't seen these movies and you don't like spoilers, you might want to watch those movies before you listen to this episode. We also end up discussing Uncut Gems for obvious reasons, as well as Avatar a little bit as well. So we're all over the map here, but we're really essentially discussing how filmmaking is changing and how we're starting to see a revolution in filmmaking, which I am extremely excited to be part of. Well, we're not ignoring the fact that, especially Hollywood, there's a lot of turnaround that's happening. A lot of people have lost their jobs. A lot of people have, things are changing, and we're sort of recognizing that for sure. But at the same time, just as someone who likes to watch movies, we are seeing a shift in the kinds of movies that are made. We're very excited about that. Another thing I wanted to sort of discuss with you guys is someone brought up on our, sent me an email, a longtime listener of the podcast, specifically about the theme songs that we've been doing recently on the podcast. As you guys probably gathered, we're doing a new theme song for every episode. I thought it was kind of entertaining because of how easy it is to do these things inside of AI music. And, there's some concerns about, whether we're using AI music or not. Now, I personally feel that I don't necessarily treasure any of these theme songs, which is why we create a new one for every episode. But if you guys have some concerns about it, we'd love to hear about it, and also hear any suggestions you guys have. If you want to sort of go back to creating a fundamental theme song that we use, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on that. Anyway, you can always contact us. It's podcast@cggarage.com. And our Discord is also another place that you can go, and we can have a discussion about it there, which is very popular. And that's just cggarage.com/Discord will redirect you to our Discord, and you'll be able to tell us what you think in there as well. So happy to have that discussion. In terms of events, I will be at the HPA retreat, which is going to be February 15th through the 19th in Palm Springs. I'm very excited about this. It's going to be my third HPA. It's a really great event. I am not actually going to be speaking or anything, but I will be attending, and I'll probably bring my podcast equipment with me. So if you happen to be at the HPA, maybe we can do a podcast together. It would be a lot of fun. So definitely get in touch with me. Email us, podcast@cggarage.com, and let me know you'll be at the HPA. Love to see you. In terms of other ways to contact us, you guys of course mentioned a Discord, which is cggarage.com/Discord. We're also on LinkedIn and on other places as well. Do want to remind you that we also have a YouTube up now, which is really great. Please make sure and go check us out on YouTube. It is going to be at youtube.com/@CGGaragePodcast, @CGGaragePodcast, all one word. make sure to like and subscribe to us there. They're a lot of fun to be on video as well. So with that, please enjoy episode number 534, where we discuss Marty Supreme and one battle after the other.
This episode of CG Garage is sponsored by CenterGrid Virtual Studio. Wondering why you went to film school just to be stuck managing hardware life cycles? CenterGrid delivers end-to-end GPU-accelerated cloud workstations built specifically for VFX and creative production, with flat, predictable pricing and personalized support from people who actually get your workflow. Plus, CenterGrid is TPN Gold Shield certified, so your studio's security is locked down. Check out what Virtual Studio can do for your pipeline at cgvirtualstudio.com. This episode of CG Garage is sponsored by Kitbash 3D, one of our favorite tools and an essential tool for 3D artists everywhere. With the largest library of cinematic quality, production-ready 3D assets, Kitbash 3D ensures that your studio has the tools to build stunning environments quickly, efficiently, and at scale. Design detailed worlds in a fraction of the time without compromising on quality. Head to kitbash3d.com and use the code CGGarage at checkout for 10% off any kit. Again, that's kitbash3d.com, code CGGarage.
So, Daniel, a couple questions. First of all, I'm going to zig on you. I said we are going to do a Marty Supreme episode, but I think we're going to do a Marty Supreme and one battle after another episode.
Oh, spectacular. I love it. Good combo. Good combo.
Good combo, because I just watched it, one battle after another again last night, and just the fact that these two movies got made.
Oh, it's terrific. This is true. My favorite movies of the year. Absolutely terrific movies. Loved them. Loved them.
All right. So before we dive in, a couple of things, because you and I haven't had just a one-on-one episode of CG Garage since we came under the new, by the way, like the new Monstrous Moonshine.
I'm very much in love with that shirt.
T-shirt.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
There's one coming for you. There's one for you that is available.
Oh, hell yeah. Merch on the way. It's my favorite thing.
Anyway, so we haven't done one, just you and I talking about this. So first of all, what do you think about just doing like interviews and stuff?
Oh, I love it. No, this has been a blast. I'm really, really excited about the new format. I love how it's been going. We've had a couple of really exciting conversations with the folks, and I think everything's has been a nice evolution of our normal format. Yeah,
I like it. I mean, it's interesting. I'm starting to.
You look very concerned.
Oh, am I still there? Can you hear me though?
There we go. Okay, I can hear you. Okay. Yeah, for a second you were like, you look really sort of stern. We're like, considering.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think the thing is that it's interesting that the industry is changing, and we're changing the format a little bit of the podcast too. We're doing a little more current event things like this one, because I think that's becoming important. It's interesting. I was talking about it with Karen. And, when I started this podcast, it was heavily modeled after the Nerdist podcast, which is no one even knows what that podcast
That's gone. Yeah.
Is.
Long time gone.
Right. But so I think doing just interviews is not it. I think we have to keep more current events going. And I think this is kind of exciting too.
Well, things are changing around us so quickly, that you want to get as many angles as you possibly can. To keep relevant in what we do and how we want to do it. So.
Yeah. And so I think it's cool. There's a lot of stuff going on. We should note that Monstrous Moonshine is really busy.
Yeah, lots happening. It's great.
It occupies a big portion of my time, besides my job, obviously, but occupies a big portion of my job. And we just had an article that came out from Carolyn Jordina. It's part of her tech blog or her Substack called The Creative Tech Orbit. About our VidVis technique and for our feature film, which is kind of awesome. So now that that's out, we can officially say we're working on a feature film.
That's right. Very exciting. And if you go to that article, and you can see we have our VidVis up online to check out, and get to see a scene that we've put together to show this stuff off, and it's really, really good stuff.
Yeah. So just a quick summary: we are producing a Western as we speak, on a real feature film, and we're in the development side of it right now. Mm-hmm. So we're not in production yet, but we are in development. But we're doing some pretty heavy duty stuff in the development side,
Yep.
which is exciting. Okay, so here's the thing, right? This is something we've been talking about for a while, that the film industry needs to adapt and to change because the franchise models aren't working the same way. You can't just sort of make 4 quadrant movies and expect to make a bunch of money. And, I was just looking up Avatar, right? So one of our podcasts we did, our predictions episode, I basically stated that one or more of 3 things, which was Avatar, Grand Theft Auto 6, and OpenAI, was possibly going to fail at some point in 2026. Right. I don't think Avatar can be called a failure, but I don't think it can be called a raging success.
It's definitely a success. It follows the same curve as most sequels do. Like, it's making a little bit less than the last one, which made a little bit less than the first one, right? Right. But it's because of this staggering cost of putting those things together. Like, Cameron's very vocal about, like, I have to reimagine how this is made. Like, it's making money, people love it, it's fantastic. But
I just don't think he wants to do another 5 years of Avatar movies. He's 71 years old.
Well, I think from a personal standpoint, I would say, I mean, I don't know what he wants to do, but I would love to see him get out into other stuff again. And I bet that I actually love the Avatar movies. I think they're really they're really unique theatrical rides. And I don't mean that as a diminutive thing. I mean, I look forward to them. They're great. They're a blast. This latest one is an awesome action masterpiece and it's fantastic. But I think that it's like how I feel about all the old guard directors. I'm just like how I feel about Scorsese. I'm just Scorsese's movies are always good. But what I would really love for him to do is get back to a 10-person crew, and see what you do. Get back to the basics.
Same with Coppola too.
And with Coppola, yeah, exactly. Because you bring all that down, you'll be amazed at how much more freedom you get back.
Right.
And I think that especially with the way things are changing now, I think that these guys have been in this sort of. They've either been in the studio system so long or they've been fighting the studio system so long that that's the only way that they can think about it, when really they got to get back to being basically indie filmmakers and get creative again.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's important for them to do that. It's going to be, I don't know how they're going to do it though, they can't really, yeah, it was interesting. I saw this Instagram piece where it was Cameron talking about how he was struggling with the script for A Way of Water and how he had to get so much exhibition in the beginning to try to set up the world. Right. And he apparently was walking around Century City or something like that, and he saw a magazine that was the WGA magazine or whatever about, the key elements to the best way to do exhibition in your film or whatever. And he's like, perfect. He picked up the copy, and then he went to go home and he read the whole title and says, the best way to do exhibition in movies as per Terminator.
Yes, per Terminator. Oh man, I talk about that all the time. That's my favorite exposition in the world.
I thought it was so funny. He was like, wait a minute, you should know, Mr. Cameron, how to do right.
Exactly. Because I feel I do love Cameron's movies, and I think he's like I said, I think that here's my recommendation for the Avatar movies. If you like the world of Avatar, the first one is the best. If you like the characters of Avatar, the second one is the best. And if you like just James Cameron as an action genius, the third one is the best. And he has these unbelievable skills, right? He's just great.
The third one just felt like he made the second one again.
Yeah, and the thing is, I agree with you.
Although made it even bigger.
For me, it's the second one, but 20% better, which is great. And the thing is that's the way they used to make sequels, where it's just hey, you want Jaws? Here's the same plot, but with, a mama shark, or whatever. Right. That's the way they used to do that stuff. In this case, if the thing that I value most about Cameron is his structure and his action creativity is beyond anybody. He's just incredible. And I think that he really brings that to bear in this one best of all. But you have seen the story before in the last movie. It's identical. It's just
It's identical.
Right?
It's actually more than identical.
Yeah, and this
like,
is as I brought up in the Discord, like this is also true for Aliens. Has exactly the same plot and beats of Alien. Exactly. Like the nuclear explosion, the betraying android, the blah, like everything, right? Terminator 2 has all of the same beats of Terminator, just beefed up and flipped, right? Like he's actually quite good at revamping his own material.
Yeah, but there's enough different, and well, Godfather 1, Godfather 2, same plot.
Yeah, exactly. Like this, it's okay to do this, but I do feel like in that he is running up against the limits of return in this particular franchise for him. I think that he would be best served by like letting other people take that over and make cheaper, more, like just see what other people do in that world. It's interesting.
People who pick up the pieces behind Cameron don't do well.
Well, that's because no, I don't know the guy at all. I don't know anything about him. But like in suggesting that, what I suggest is give it to people that you think are good filmmakers and don't restrict them at all. Like just go, I'm hands off, go with God. Then you might end up with some really interesting movies. But I think that he is, I think that he should probably let go of this franchise, go do some other things for a while before there's more Avatar. And just so we can get back into he makes really great choices the harder he has to work. Right. And I think that he's sort of solved that problem by making his job bigger and harder. But I think you could do it in reverse and say, what if we made it smaller and smaller and harder? And then he'll actually make better choices that are tighter. And I think that's just true for filmmakers. And so I feel like, all big budget filmmakers should be as disciplined as if they were 28 years old and only had, a few $1,000,
Right. Which so this brings up, where we are now with these two auteur films that we want to talk about, right? Specifically Marty Supreme, which is still in theaters, I think.
Yeah, still going.
Sure.
Yep.
Still going.
And One Battle is now on HBO, I believe.
On HBO. Yep. Yeah. And they're great. I mean, honestly, I love both these films. But let's talk about Marty Supreme real quick, because it is the most current one, obviously, that's out there. It is now, obviously, I know this is just Josh Safdie. It's not the Safdie brothers, right?
Yeah, his brother went and directed The Smashing Machine with The Rock, which I have not yet seen.
Right, I haven't seen that one. Right. But this very much feels closely related in genre, at least in feel.
Yeah, it has the same sort of energy and point as Uncut Gems, as Good Time. Like this has the same the same vibe, 100%. Like it's a different flavor of the same process.
The protagonist is a bad person.
Yeah, exactly. Like a likable, massively flawed person who's desperate to accomplish something is his bailiwick.
Right.
And they've changed. He's changed up the setting and is exploring new things. But it's very, very much in line with those movies.
How would you rank these? Like if you were all three of those?
These are all kind of neck and neck for me. The first half of the movie I saw was Good Time, and I was knocked out because it was so different than anything I had seen in years. That was really electrifying. I also, just for my own personal tastes, like I think I have a wider allowance for characters being despicable than most people. Like I really like when people are very, very unlikable. I think that's fascinating. And so I think that might cross the line for people in that movie in particular. But I get in Good Time. I really like that movie a lot. I think Uncut Gems and this especially are like, they're much better made films than Good Time. And for me, like it's sort of it is neck and neck in terms of the total package between Uncut Gems and this, depending upon whether you like Adam Sandler or Timothée Chalamet more may tip the scales for you. They're both exquisitely well-made pictures about like people that you like, even though they are terrible. And
Right.
I really love that as an achievement in the story.
Yeah, I did not like, as you guys know, or that I did not like Good Time.
It is an
I don't
unpleasant
know.
movie about a
It is
genuinely
an
bad
unpleasant.
person.
It is and that's not necessarily. I'm not against that,
Right.
obviously. But I don't. Maybe I was not in the right mood to see it. But when you see a movie for the first time and you weren't in the right headspace,
Yeah,
it kind of ruins it for the rest of your life.
Even if you're in a good space, that is a big ask. That movie's a big ask. Like they do things in that movie where like, I don't know how people are going to keep on watching this.
But I watched Uncut Gems, and I'm like, oh, this guy is equally as stupid and dumb and constantly making horrible mistakes in his life. And somehow I love that movie.
I think you'll agree with me on this. I think that is the like Adam Sandler is such a phenomenal actor.
Yes, he is.
He doesn't, he doesn't trot out his skills more than once every couple of years. But
No.
I think that Uncut Gems, as much genius craft you have in that movie, and as like perfectly, and like the energy of the movie is so intense, the plot's so great, like it's driving and driving and driving. If you didn't empathize with Sandler as much as you do, the movie is unwatchable. Like it's because you go, I feel your pain a little tiny bit all the time. It makes it exhilarating. Like you constantly care.
If there's some part of you that is obsessive about something that may not be healthy.
Yes, 100%.
Then you will empathize with this movie and you will feel that thing.
Like he makes you feel
maybe
the
that's
wind.
what it was. Maybe I didn't empathize with what's his name?
Robert Pattinson.
In Good Time. With Robert Pattinson in Good Time. Because I didn't feel that. Now, at the same time, Timothée Chalamet, didn't necessarily empathize with him, but I kind of love I'm just trying to get a score, just trying to do a thing, just trying to be famous.
This is an interesting thing to point out because I really responded to the movie in sort of a more general way than I did for Uncut
Exactly.
Gems. Yeah. That's a really interesting thing to say. Because I vibed with the general stresses he was under more like I felt his situation more than I did in Uncut Gems. Like I think that he is further towards the Robert Pattinson level of like, God, this fucking guy, just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But Chalamet's performance is excellent. But I think that there's a generalized, like in Uncut Gems. Okay. So let's see if I can put it this way and see if you agree. In Uncut Gems, like Sandler is super likable and makes me feel both the desperation and the win anytime he gets a win. So you feel like you're on the ride with him, right? So even though I don't know anything about what he is doing, and basically it's his own fucking fault the entire time what is happening to him. Like
everything that's happened to him
is his own fault.
Based on the poor choices that he's made.
Right. Like, I mean, he's in a pickle because he is an idiot. Like that's what's happening. Like
he's not an idiot.
Oh yeah. I mean he's
an addict.
Yeah, he's an addict. Like he's making bad choices when he knows better.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean it's about being addicted to gambling.
Yes.
Is what it is.
Yeah. And it very effectively conveys this.
Very effectively conveys that. The thing that was I actually I'm going to spoil this the story. I preferred the ending of Uncut Gems because it felt like a true tragedy.
Yeah, okay,
he dies at the end.
I think it's great. And somehow it feels weirdly triumphant at the same time.
It does, because he died at he won.
Yeah.
And then died when he is at the peak of feeling I just had the biggest score of my life, he gets shot and dies.
Yes.
It's like that's like peace out. I'm done. Life over. I can't get any better than this. Right? Because that was his problem the whole time. He would get these highs and he would go down and then he would fuck it up again.
Crash. Yeah. He avoids the crash through death.
So he avoids it because it's the biggest win of his life and then gets shot instantly.
That's right.
And that's the end of the movie. And that to me feels like a tragedy. Yeah. In Chalamet, you're like, what? The ending was like.
Right. So it's interesting because the ending is like, and again, okay, like I'm going to get super spoilery for a second, but I'll try and keep it under 20 seconds. So skip ahead.
That's fine.
All right. So it's a happy ending for Chalamet, right? Like
kind of.
He doesn't win. He doesn't win, but he has a baby and his life is is reborn. Like he has a
Yeah,
sort
he has
of
purpose of some kind,
he has
right?
realized a purpose, and symbolically, because he has a baby, he himself is born as a real person.
Now he's no longer selfish.
He's no longer selfish. That's the end of the movie. And now the thing that I found out, and this turns out to be true, I looked it up. The ending that they almost shot it. They built all the stuff to shoot it. And this sounds like it's fake, but it is apparently not fake because it was in Variety when I read it. Is in the end, all that happens, and then it goes to the 80s, right? And he's at a concert with his grown-up kid. And fucking Mr. Wonderful shows up behind them or whatever. He hasn't aged at all. And he opens his mouth. He has vampire fangs and he bites into Chalamet's neck and sucks out all of his blood and the movie ends.
No.
Yes, absolutely true. I double checked it before I got on the podcast. I was like, that can't be true. And I just saw it in Variety. It's true. And I was like, I kind of want that ending. I was like, that's the ending that would have made everyone but me hate this movie.
Yeah.
I was like, because that is sort of the, like, because the movie has a happy ending. I'm glad they made that movie. I think that's the right movie to make. But
sure.
the vampire ending says a lot about me because that's the good time ending. Like that's the no, fuck you. Like,
well,
then
it just becomes a sequel to Sinners. It's weird.
Yeah, basically.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. The actors or the act. There's a lot of non-actors in both these films.
Yeah, it's true. Right.
Right.
Mr. Wonderful.
So you Mr. Wonderful for one, right, yeah. Which is Kevin O'Leary, but you have the basketball player in
Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems.
Yep.
And there's a couple other
like he gets great performances out of non-actors. It's really something.
That's the thing I was trying to get at. Like, so I think the way he seems to do it, one is you can get great performance out of non-actors if you know what you're doing. And if you're filming it, you just get the take you want. You got to film it. You got to shorten the takes. You can't make him do a big monologue. Right. There's a few things you got to do to make sure that works. Yeah, sure. You're very good at, by the way, at directing non-actors. So I know that. Yeah.
Thank you.
That is definitely a director skill. That's hardcore.
Yeah.
However, it's very interesting that he's leveraging this. So he puts one person that's a fantastic actor that can guarantee a great performance. Mm-hmm. Adam Sandler, Timothée Chalamet, Gwyneth Paltrow. Right. These people are going to do just great, you know? What's the name of the wife in Uncut Gems? She's a fantastic actor.
Oh, she's great. I can't think of her name. Yeah, she
was really good, right? Yeah. So you get these key performances and then you scatter the other ones around it and somehow not make it feel like two different movies.
Right.
But the Kevin O'Leary is an interesting one because he's actually... One, I was like, is he going to play himself like the actual person? No, he doesn't, right? Because it's in the 50s. Right. But he does play himself. Like he was clearly cast to be the asshole that he is on Shark Tank.
Yeah, like plug him in is exactly who he is. This is the right way to use people like that because they already have a personality. You can't get them. It's not like you're not going to bring that dude in to play Hamlet. Like, that's not going to work. But he is a performer that performs himself all the time.
He is. Yes, that's right.
And you leverage
He understands the persona that he plays on TV. I'm sure it's a little bit like you could, who another person you could bring in is Gordon Ramsay. I heard he's a fantastically nice person, but on TV, he's plays got a the show to give.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And I think that's like, this is a great point you made because like, it is the balance between the great actor at the center, Chalamet or Sandler, right? Mm-hmm. Like that is giving you confidence in the fictional half of the world. Like, that's saying like, okay, that Adam Sandler is a real person who is Adam Sandler, but he is delivering a character who is not Adam Sandler, and he's convincing you of this. And then you bring in basketball player. You bring in, Shark Tank guy. In
you bring in Tyler the Creator.
Yeah, exactly. Right, and you allow them to be real in the way that we understand them to be real. Right. Then that sort of creates a bridge into a deeper sense of reality. Like when you do things like there's plenty of movies that have cameos of like star comes in like, oh, and here's Bill Murray or whatever it is. Most of the time doing that, you're creating a liability for the film because you're knocked out of the movie saying like, oh, it's Bill Murray. I mean, like I was watching the movie, but now I'm aware that it's
I'll
it's
put it this
unfortunate.
way. So many people missed the fact that was Penn Jillette in the film too.
Bingo. Yeah, exactly.
They didn't even know. And Karen, my wife, she's like huge Penn Jillette fan. She
Right.
knows him very well, listens to his podcast, etc. Didn't recognize him, I can recognize his voice. He was like just this angry redneck, right?
Yeah.
Which was odd.
which is, and it's just terrific because like when you do that, like the back of your mind, there's some realness to it that you are
Right.
not really aware of, but it's
Right.
it's making you buy in even deeper, you know?
Right.
And I think that's like, it's a real, like, I think that, that when you direct non-actors, like you have to understand what their tool set is, and their tool set is them,
Sure.
you know? And
Right.
so you have to make sure that everything you talk about relates to them very, very specifically and directly. And,
Right.
and create, and like say, like, you are the source of a reality here. I'm not asking you to put on a costume, you know?
Sure.
And I don't know if there are too many directors that can do it as well as Safdie can. Like, it's so seamless that it reinforces the world rather than dismantles it.
I think there's something actually kind of fascinating about it as well, because it flips the script on the Hollywood business, where you need to have big stars to sell your movie, right? Like Villeneuve would never get Kevin O'Leary to be in his film, right?
No.
That I can think of,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well, the thing, like, Villeneuve does, like, his version is like he casts, like, he'll stack a cast. Like the Dune movies are just like chock-a-block, big time actors, which is another difficult thing to do.
He did prove that Batista was actually a fantastic actor.
Absolutely. I mean, the thing is, like, he's able to bring in all these very, very visible people, Zendaya, everybody, and that he is able to do that and make them still all feel a part of the piece is what is one of a kind. Because if you go back and watch a movie like, you know, Towering Inferno or Meteor, where you're trying to cram in all these actors, like, there's a big range in what's being believable there, you know, like these people don't automatically fit together. So it's sort of the opposite answer to what Safdie does. Safdie, I think that he's really got a gold mine here, though, in saying, like, I need to bring the world of the audience into the movie a little bit. And I think that works particularly well for the way we interact with media these days, because we watch mostly YouTube, and we are mostly interacting with people as personalities online, and it becomes an aspect of our reality that becomes part of the film in a way that supports it. And it's very clever. It's very, very smartly done.
He also makes it highly aggressive in the way that it's edited and the way that it sounds. Like the music is so loud and in your face.
Oh yeah, it's constantly great. Oh, and I can tell you, in Marty Supreme, the moment I knew I was going to love the movie is I'm a Peter Gabriel fan. When he starts playing a Peter Gabriel song, like a lesser known Peter Gabriel song up front in that movie, I was like, and it's completely out of sync with the time period you're supposed to be in. I was like, oh, I am in now. Like, you found the thing that I love that's special to me. But it's loud and it gets your attention, right?
Yeah, it really there's no subtlety. It's not slow. It's like bam, 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 fascinating. And then, you know, when you look at Uncut Gems, it's like anxiety. That's
an assault.
Like
Uncut Gems is an assault. Yeah. Yeah.
You can just see him like, I got a million. And you and I know these guys. You know these guys who are like, I've got a million things I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to do 17 of them all at once, and I've got everything on a back burner, and I'm like, I got to go to get the bread. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got a thing I got to do an interview. And we met these guys, right? I'm just going to put nothing against, but Eric Geisler's like that. You can never nail him down.
Yeah.
He's always
too many
doing
things
something.
Happening. Yeah. He's doing all of them. He's pulling it all off.
He's not gambling away, but I'm just saying and it's
intense.
Trying to follow this person around in life is like stressful as hell. And when you have a camera and the editing and everything that's going on, you're like,
it's crazy. I mean, it's like the entirety of Uncut Gems is like the last 20 minutes of Goodfellas. Like, it's just like, holy fuck, he's gonna stir the pot and get the she's wearing the hat and like a helicopter in the sky. You're like, oh my god, it's crazy.
Exactly.
But yeah, he instead of knocking you out of the movie, he knocks you into the movie harder with this stuff. It's a real trick.
But so it was really cool to see this. Now, this is interesting. The other thing I want to mention about this is obviously it's an A24 film. Am I correct? Yes, it is.
I think that's true. Yeah.
I think that's correct. this is A24 is starting to really get into bigger movies, which I think is awesome.
They leveled up hugely with Civil War. That was a big bet for them, and it paid off enormously.
They did. And they're going like, we're going to do a Safdie brothers film. It's like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I just got to say that they're doing a really good job, to the point that I put an article on our Discord today about the biggest Warner Brothers and those studios are trying to poach people from Neon and
A24
and A24 because they're trying to unlock like how do I get Gen Z to watch movies that we make, because they can't figure it out.
Yeah,
which
here's
is
here's the
hilarious.
answer, guys. Make good movies. Hey, make some good movies. See what happens.
But they don't want to take the risk, right?
Yes.
They would never have taken the risk on Marty Supreme. No way.
Well, this is the brilliance is that A24
a 1950s Jewish ping pong player from New York.
They wouldn't
who's
go
an
for
asshole.
It. They're like,
No way.
where does Robert Downey Jr. come in with the Doctor Doom mask? How can we do this?
No.
Yeah. No, like A24.
No, there's no history. There's no franchise. There's no. They look at they're obsessed with what do people want, and then they make that, as opposed to what do I want.
You gotta lead the way, dude. Yeah, exactly. It's like David Bowie says this, just like, don't play to the gallery. Like, if you want your thing to really hit, you got to be making it for yourself, because you're the only audience. Like, you just have to trust that everyone else out there is as weird as you are. Like, that's it. Like, you can't just keep on trying to softball it.
Although he's a terrible person, but I've used this analogy when we talk about designing and developing software and new ideas for software. I work in a lab, so we have to keep up with new ideas. But Henry Ford said, if I asked people what they wanted, they would have told me make a faster horse.
Make a faster horse. Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And the truth is, you got to reinvent everything about transportation to make that a reality, right? Yeah. And he did that obviously with cars, but that's the same thing with these movies. Like, instead of telling us like, do they want more Star Wars? Like, Star Wars is coming up on 50 fucking years.
Yeah.
And why are we still making this?
Well, the thing is, like, I don't mind that Star Wars is 50 years. Star Wars can go on for 100 years. The problem with Star Wars is that it has been 46 years of bland garbage. Like, that's what's unacceptable.
Sure. Well, it's also been just wrapped into this mythology that people want to do. And I think Catherine Kennedy finally is like, fuck it, she looked away. But
yeah, no, I think it's like, I think that changing, like, the solution to these things, because the thing is, like, I don't believe like, whether something is whether something is you know, a what do you call it, like a franchise movie or a non-franchise movie, where there's a sequel or a prequel, or whether it's a remake or whether it's brand new, the only responsibility you have is to make a great fucking movie, right? Yep. And the moment that you are not doing that, the moment you're like, but we have to make it very sequely, you're no longer making a great movie.
We have to make it 4-quadrant.
Yeah, once you do that, you've given up on the great movie part. And if you're not making the great movie, stop. Because you're actually losing money for everyone in the future related to this.
I actually think that 4-quadrant is going to die off a little bit. Like, that's actually could be a bad thing for the movie industry.
Yeah.
Although I got to say, like Zootopia 2 is like apparently it's the exact same plot as Zootopia 1. And
this is fine. Like, this is fine. I mean, like, there's always people are very, everyone is very similar. We all have the same cares and tastes. And, like, of course, the Venn diagram where we cross over is the same. And we're all going to like, you know, whatever. Zootopia 2, sure. Like, I haven't seen it, but everyone I know have seen it. It's like, oh, it was really good. And I'm like, I bet if I saw it, I'd think that was really good. But the way that you keep it fresh is by doing it well and thinking about it and telling a story that you care about. Like, that's it. And so the reason why Star Wars and all that stuff has gone so south isn't because the property is old. It is because the people that are making it and the people that are buying it don't know what good is anymore. Like, they're not aiming towards good. They're aiming towards reliving the good that is long gone.
And they did the exact when they did Solo, they screwed it up because it, like you said, they could have made a McCabe and Mrs. Miller version of Solo, which would have been amazing. But they didn't. Okay. I do want to talk about that budget of $70 million. That is a number of value of a film or a budget that is not existed. People don't make $50 million, $70 million films They don't get made anymore.
Yeah, there's a wide gulf of movies that were commonly made for the past, from the up until like
20 years ago.
Yeah,
it's been about 20 years since
it's been about 20 years, but you'd regularly see movies that were like 65 million or something like this that were like for instance, like the first Matrix. I don't know what the number is on that, but that's not a radical budget movie. That is it's a bigger budget movie. They had faith in it, but it was brand new, so they didn't want to spend too much money. Yep. And because of that, they made a great movie. They made a landmark movie.
Deadpool was another one.
Deadpool's another one. And this is essentially relates back to what we're saying about Cameron is like, they're like, set those limitations, man, and embrace those limitations because you'll think hard.
I think it's interesting because I think, this is a much bigger budget film than Josh Safdie was ever used to.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think, we talked to Aaron, sorry.
Yep.
Well, I forgot his name, but we talked to him, the VFX supervisor, and they sounded like they were very guerrilla style on a lot of things still, right?
Yep.
They're like, we just had to figure it out. We shot something in a parking lot. We shot this, we shot that. We just tried to figure it out.
Yeah.
And so I still think that even with a $70 million budget, they still managed to sort of get a lot of value. It looks great.
It is a great, people like when movies don't have spaceships, people forget how hard it is to create a world like Marty Supreme. Like that is, it feels vast and real. And it's like takes place in the 50s and all this kind of stuff. Like there's an enormous amount of very subtle work that's being done all the time, both in filmmaking and visual effects and everything to make you buy into this place. But like the best visual effects, it's all thrown away. It's not trying to distract you from what you're trying to pay attention to. It's just there to support everything constantly in the background. And by making it more realistic for you and more emotionally realistic for you, like that gives you permission to buy into the emotions of the characters even more. Like it clears the path. And I think that's why these movies work. I mean, even in Uncut Gems, like he creates the world of the Diamond District so clearly and so vividly in the world of like these criminals and all this stuff and sports, and they don't have to spend a lot of money to do it, but they do have to do exactly the right things and hammer you with it so you don't have too much time to think. That's when you start believing that things are real. And I feel like this is like with, for instance, when he's talking about like all the exposition to put into Avatar, like the best exposition in the world, to return to the Terminator, is like, yes, we have to explain how the time travel from the future, blah, blah, blah works. But the way he does it in Terminator is while Arnold Schwarzenegger is trying to jump on their car and punch through the windshield. He's got like Reese is like screaming in Linda Hamilton's ear going just like, you have to understand that. And he's like, he yells all the exposition at her and you're kind of picking it up. But your main thing that's happening is you're like, oh shit, I hope she doesn't die because both these people are nuts. Like that's why it's good. It's good because it's a great scene.
But you get the exhibition, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And
it's folded up in there. Yeah.
Honestly, I think, that was the part that bothered me the most in Way of Water was the first 6 minutes.
Oh, he's just like, I don't need all this. I don't need all this chit chat, James. Even if I didn't see the first film, I don't need all this stuff. Like, just get to business. Like, and Safdie knows that you can trust the audience to pick it up. You can just drop them in the middle of 50s Brooklyn or wherever. And like people just, they'll hang with it as long as you're making a good movie and it's entertaining and there's tension and there's interesting stuff to watch. Like your brain will naturally start to add it up, and like you won't understand everything in the first 5 minutes, but 20 minutes in, you're like, okay, I think I get what his situation is. And by the end, you're like, I'm rooting for him. I hope this works out. I know his whole story. And at no point did he ever sit down and go like, life was tough in the 50s, and give you a big monologue. You don't need it. Like you're here, you're immediately here right now. That's what makes it work.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was fantastic. I thought the ping pong was interesting in a lot of ways. It wasn't definitely not the hero of it, but it certainly worked. And it had it was a great thing that sort of tied everything together.
Well, it's both frenetic and silly, which is wonderful for this story.
Because ping pong is a weird thing to be heroic at.
I think
For
that's
most people.
because if this were something like football or whatever it is,
Or
like
basketball.
basketball, which like you'd want to take more seriously as an event, right? Not to diminish people. Like ping pong is hard. I get it.
Oh, I know, and you got to be very, very good at it.
Absolutely. So not to take anything away, but from a general American perspective, this is not like an immediate concern. Like no, it's like, oh, ping pong.
Right.
We're like, oh, ping pong. It's something you play in your basement,
Right.
And so for him to be for Marty to be driving so hard, it's something we take so lightly, is key to the movie being the success that it is. Because I feel like Marty, it's like I wrote on our Discord. I was like, I think I think that younger generations' reactions to this film have been terrific to read because
Well, tell us about those reactions because you've mentioned it a couple times.
To be very generalizing, it's split into two camps, right? And one of them is the traditional, why should we follow this character when he's such a bad person? Why should we be watching this movie at all, right? And now
movies should only be telling you the right way to live your life.
Yeah, movies should only be telling me that I'm amazing. That's what they like, and I think that, and this is not true to any younger generation. This is just generally true for half the United States of all ages. Seems to need to be pat on the back for being good people. Those stories
that's what social media does. It just sits there and pats you on your back and only tells you, here's reassuring you that you made the right choices and that you are
boring.
Like
just as a
hooray
movie,
for you for voting for Trump, or hooray for you for hating Trump.
You have the
whatever it is.
You're a good person and you made all the right choices. Now you're watching a story about basically someone waiting around for everyone else to realize they're wrong. That is not a movie. That is not a movie to me. And what is wonderful to me about Marty Supreme is that he makes a lot of wrong choices. Like he makes up terrible, he treats people horribly, all this stuff, but he remains an empathic character. And that's what makes me relate to both the good and the bad. I can look at this and go like, I have made incredibly selfish, poor choices like this. Like I have been a bad person like this.
But do you think people see that? Do you think that's the problem right now? Is it that no one has told anyone on this planet that they've made the wrong choice?
I think you are exactly right about the way the internet's fucked us up, especially since COVID, right? I think that
because I don't know how many people, hate to be political about it, but I don't know how many people on ICE are going, I made the wrong choice. Maybe this is not
everyone
the right way to act.
Right now. And again, I want to reinforce this. This is not old man yells at
and
cloud.
all the protesters are like definitely not saying maybe
like that empathy
know.
is at a low ebb nowadays, and everyone wants to see things that reinforce the idea that your beliefs are unchallengeable. Right. And it is bled into our media so deeply that when you get a challenging piece of fiction, it upsets people. And I'm here to tell you, that's what movies are supposed to do. It's supposed to upset you. Even Disney movies, like good storytelling means that you get, even as a kid, a little upset. Like that's
Bambi
part
dies.
of it. Bambi dies. Bambi's mom dies.
Bambi's mom dies.
Like this is like it can range all the way to like 120 Days of Sodom, all the way down to Bambi. But at some point, like you feel a paper cut on your heart. Like that's part of what storytelling is. And like if it's really good, it makes you reflect on your own choices and gives you the tools to examine how you have lived your life. That's where the moral part comes in, is you look at yourself, not you wait for everyone to applaud you. Like, who gives a shit? Why would I want to watch a movie about where a guy who doesn't change but yet wins? That stinks.
Right.
That is a bad story. And so yes, there's half the people feel that way about Marty Supreme. The other half are like, he is a bad, desperate person, but I vibe with this because my life is an equal struggle. I am young, I want things, and I think that I am fucked by the world. And that is where I'm in 100% agreement with it. I'm just like, this movie simulates better than their previous films what it feels like. It's just like, yes, like I know I'm being unreasonable in what I'm going after, but it's just fucking ping pong, and I should be able to at least do this much. I shouldn't have to do the things I'm doing to goddamn play ping pong. Like that is an emotion that I think that anyone can get on board with at the scale of their normal lives. Like, why is everything an emotional uphill battle right now? And that's what makes this movie both something that you can align with, and yet it also asks you to look at your own bad choices. Like, this is great. Like, that's just great storytelling. Like I feel like that sets a standard for like that the fact that so many young people have embraced this gives me a lot of hope, because there are plenty of old people who look at this and go like, I don't want to watch a movie about a guy who's a jerk. Well, maybe it's because it makes you feel like a jerk. Maybe it's it's making you realize that maybe you're a little bit of a jerk.
Right. Yep. Yeah. And it's just, I mean, I bring this up as an example movie every time, but it's like when I look at Don't Look Up, it's just trying to preach at you about what you're supposed to feel and what you're not supposed to feel.
There's the good guys and the bad guys. Don't worry, you're the good guy.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's just raw. Now, speaking of good guys and bad guys, One Battle After Another is very...
Possibly my favorite movie of the year. Definitely in contention.
I think it is for me.
That may be my favorite movie of the year. That is a great film.
Although I loved Sinners, I still love Sinners.
Yeah, no, it's like this has been a great year for movies with lots of really impressive stuff. But this one is like, this one feels like this feels of the, like, I'm going to rewatch this as much as I've seen like Big Lebowski. That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to rewatch it because it's got so many great scenes, right?
Yeah.
So for something to be really rewatchable, sometimes like Civil War is hard to rewatch, right?
Yeah, it's a brutal movie. Yeah, it's an intense movie.
It's hard. Sure. It's a fantastic movie. I love it. I'm definitely going to say it. But you can't just go, I'm going to watch Civil War again.
Yeah, you know what I get a kick out of? Really wake me up in the morning.
I'm going to rewatch The Good, the Bad, the Ugly anytime, because anytime I just jump into a scene, it's like, this is a great scene.
Yep.
One Battle After Another definitely had that. What was interesting is I watched it with last night with Brady and Karen, and Brady hadn't seen it before, and he said he didn't know what to expect because he thought the trailer was kind of meh, and he's right. The trailer doesn't really.
Yeah, it's weirdly flat. I agree.
Weirdly flat, and it feels like it's going to be a movie about revolutionaries, which it is. But it's way more of a comedy than people think it is.
It's just a comedy. Like, it's a very smart comedy that has a lot to say, but it is a comedy for sure.
It's definitely got a lot of drama and a lot of action, which is fantastic. But the characters are very subtly comedic, right? I'm not talking Tropic Thunder comedy, obviously, but I'm talking like Sean Penn's character.
Oh God, Colonel Lockjaw.
Every time he started walking,
it's amazing.
Every time he started walking, Brady was just cracking up. I was like, what is up with his walk?
So he's like Popeye. He looks like Popeye. He's got huge arms. He walks weird. Yeah, he looks like Popeye. It's funny. Yeah. It's just genius. And I feel like this is a movie where it's just like, Anderson's obviously one of our greats, like, across the board.
He is. Okay, let's go back. So we talked about the three movies that the Safdie brothers did, and in terms of where that lies. So in terms of Paul Thomas, Licorice Pizza, I thought was fine. I liked it.
Oh, I love that movie. It's a very good movie. It's very fun.
I thought it was fine.
It's minor, not saying it's
excellent.
Bad. That's what I would say.
It's minor but good. Okay, that's fine.
Right.
But this one is way up there to me.
Yeah.
Like same level, if not, I'm not quite sure if it exceeded Boogie Nights in some ways.
Yeah.
Magnolia is a little more artsy and funky. But how does this one land to you compared to his other films?
I have sort of a weird, like I think all of his films, I don't think he's ever made a bad film. I think he's always great and always interesting, even when I don't necessarily like his films. Like I still wrestle with The Master. I think The Master is excellent. And I when I'm watching it, I'm like, this is really fascinating and very, very like constantly inventive and really beautifully done. And I just have to keep on rewatching it. I get a little bit more every time. I can't say that it's not a movie that I'm like, oh, let's watch The Master, but it is a challenging and interesting thing. Right. And then he has stuff like Licorice Pizza, which is just a fucking riot. And beautifully done and very funny. I mean, it's like a good episode. Like, that's like if he stepped into a TV show and just like, I'm just going to make the best episode of Happy Days you've ever seen. And he just does. And it's incredible, right? So like, like he has an enormous range. Boogie Nights is one of the best debuts of all time, you know. I'm a giant fan, of course, of There Will Be Blood, right, which is an amazing film. More and more, without getting into one battle yet, like I have a huge love and rewatch attraction to Phantom Thread. Like, I think that is a very subtle, very funny movie that that ends up being both sort of deep and frivolous at the same time in a way that I don't think I've ever seen in any other movie. And it might be I might like Daniel Day-Lewis in that even more than in There Will Be Blood. Like, I think he's phenomenal. But one battle, without like saying where it is in the list, I think it samples from everything he did right in all of these films and uses all of those skills to deliver this story. Like, there's Boogie Nights stuff, there's Phantom Thread stuff, there is, like, in fact, like, Licorice Pizza has some very subtle stuff that it does that he repurposes here. Like, I'm just like, this guy is like, he's adding it all up. Like, he takes what he learns from a movie and then adds it to the next movie. And so this thing is, if it's not my favorite Paul Thomas Anderson, it is the most complete movie he has ever made. Like, I feel like there's nothing I would add to this thing. It's a masterpiece.
Now, I brought up Don't Look Up, which is a clearly highly anti-Trump film.
Yep.
In a way, right?
Yep. And I like that one more than you did, but I definitely hear where you're coming from with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But when you sort of clearly place the lines there and saying this is making this, what's weird about this film, and I might be wrong, I don't know many Trump supporters who have seen this and make a judgment on it. This is mythological enough that it makes, like, it's takes place in America, I guess, but you don't really know who the president is.
Yeah, it's abstract.
If like, there's ice before ice.
Yeah, it feels like it's like when in Star Trek they would go to it's like in Star Trek when they go to an alternate Earth where it's kind of the same. Right. I was like, yeah, okay, this is America-ish.
Right.
Yeah.
It's basically like, what if, like, what was going on now was going on for 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Or 30 years, right? And there's this rebellion. And by the way, he doesn't necessarily say that the anti government people, or they're not even anti-government. They're anti-fascists, right? Or I don't really know, right?
Well, like, it's very interesting because, like, I feel like
they're definitely rebels, but
because they're kind of based on,
but they're bad.
Yeah, like, I mean, they're doing, exactly. Like, they're doing very questionable things, right? And what's really interesting is, like, they're kind of based on the Weather Underground, right? And the Weather Underground is a 60s group. And so there's a really subtle interaction here, okay? Because the Weather Underground were boomers. They were young boomers, right? And so he's taken that and made it seem as if this is a Gen X story. Right?
Yes.
But Gen X were never revolutionaries.
No.
Like,
we were like,
there's a
like
very,
to sit back
very
on the
subtle
couch and
critique
go,
going
look at
on
that.
here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
now I've gone on record. I love Gen X and I have heaps of praise for us in all sorts of ways. But we are a very small generation, and what defines us and what made us great as artists and everything else. But what defines us is our latchkey nature means that we never engaged with the larger world. Like, we did not take responsibility. We were just like, the world's too big, we're fucked. And like, our parents are never going to get home to cook us dinner, so we got to do it ourselves. Like, and so we weren't revolutionaries like this, right? And so by taking, like I said, it's a very, very subtle trick he's doing by appropriating the story of the Weather Underground, the so-called good guy terrorists of the 1960s and 70s, and giving it to Gen X. It's saying, okay, Gen X, you really didn't do anything, right? And okay, revolutionaries, don't forget the boomers used to be like let's make the world better revolutionaries.
They were hippies.
They were the hippies. And so as good and like let's, take the world back from the bad guys and flower power kind of ideals that we all have now, that can get spoiled and turned into badness. That is that's the secret story that's happening underneath this thing. And I think that sense of there's that sense of how we engage and what we what we are going after and what we consider to be important. When we lose track of that, we turn into Sean Penn, and because Sean Penn, one of my favorite lines in the movie is when Leo's daughter is just she was a rat, right? And says that about her mom to Sean Penn. And Sean Penn, who you would think would be yeah, you better believe it, she was a rat because he's the bad guy and he's the white supremacist, etc.
Yeah,
Instead,
but he loved her.
He's don't you ever say that. She was a victorious revolutionary. They're opposed. Yes, they are opposed, but that is what he is in love with. He wants the fight. That's what defines him. Right. This is it. This is where
he wanted to be dominated.
He wanted, yes.
Dominated.
Yes, exactly, which is fucking hilarious. But these are the kind of that, because those are the weird undercurrents in the movie, right?
Right.
Then Leonardo DiCaprio's challenge is to identify what's important, because the movie's constantly saying what you think is important can go wrong. What you think is important might turn you bad. What you think is important, may lead you astray or make you lonely, right?
Right.
And he is questing for what is most important, and his answer is
his daughter.
My daughter.
Which is the best thing. What was fabulous about it is obviously he was a revolutionary, he was this, and he was in love with the mother, who turns out to be a rat, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
But the minute he's you got to get out, you got to take your daughter. First of all, he was the only one who loved the daughter when she was an infant, right?
Yep.
They make that part of the story. But then when he goes away with her and he has nothing to do.
Yeah. That's it.
Then he falls into
the stuff, and he's being pulled this way and that
being
way.
Alcoholic and a pothead and all this stuff.
It's a mess. He's living on. It's a mess. His daughter is basically his mother in the beginning of the movie, the way she's treating him.
Yes. And by the way, that's fabulous because it's not unheard of, right? It's this is a relationship that's been done a million times. I hate, what I thought of when I thought of that relationship is Pretty in Pink.
Oh yeah, totally. Right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. It's just he has lost so much of his own identity and control. He's just I am powerless is what he's saying at the beginning.
I'm powerless.
I'm absolutely
what
powerless.
I love is when he's, just so shit goes down, right? And therefore the underground calls him to tell him shit's going down. You better fucking move. And supposedly he's supposed to have trained for this.
Yeah, right.
From the beginning,
but he's too high.
But he's he's way too high. It's I can't. I'm too drunk. I'm too high. I can't answer the questions.
For about 15 years. So, it's amazing. And the thing is, and he doesn't do a fucking thing in this movie. He does not accomplish anything except be there.
Save his daughter.
And he doesn't even save her. She saves herself and him, but he is there for her. That is the one. That's
the only
thing.
focus he had. He's not trying to save he's not trying to be a revolutionary. He's not trying to attack the bad guys. He just wants to get to his daughter.
Yeah. And that he is there for her, even though she has to fucking kill the bad guys. She has to do everything. She has to do it all because it is hers to do. She's the new generation. This is it. This is she's accepting.
And he gives it to her at the end. The last scene is him giving it to her.
Go for it.
Fantastic.
And in that they both go through this, then the mother is allowed through the letter to be a person again. Just symbolically, you just and she opens up and says I have changed. I'm a different person, and maybe someday we'll have this.
But at the same time,
the idea of the mother free.
The daughter also sees him as you were I'd never, because she never saw him as a hero, right?
Right.
And so she finally sees him as oh, he loves me.
That's
she
it.
Guarantees.
The most important thing.
Yes.
That is that.
The only thing she needed to hear is that her father loved her.
Yeah. And so
not in the asshole way, but in 100%. He did the most loving thing he could do to her. Yeah.
And like he's fucking it up the whole time. But he
Fucking
gets
it
there.
up the whole time. Eventually he gets
Relatable content, people.
Eventually, you know what? It also, do you ever have those dreams? These are a very common dream that I have, where, like, I'm trying to get to a destination, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say, like, I have a dream that I'm going to go fishing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's very common,
Right?
for me.
Right.
My whole dream is getting ready for the trip and me never reaching the destination.
Right. Right.
Right.
Right.
That's the whole dream. Like, I gotta get. Oh no, this. This happened. I gotta do this.
Yeah,
and I never get there. And I fuck this up, and this happens. And so my whole dream goes on and on and on, and I never get to what I'm supposed to get to.
Right.
That is a very common dream, apparently.
Yep.
That's what it feels like for him. He's like, I'm trying to get to my daughter.
Yep.
I fell off the fucking roof.
Yeah, I fell off the roof. I have Sean Penn lined up in my sights, and I miss him. It's just like it's incredible. It's incredible. And the thing is, like, what is also beautiful in this, right, is like, and what makes it feel epic in a deep way, right, is because there's the reality of the movie, and like, or actually, I should say it this way: the movie has two realities, right?
Sure.
And one is the Christmas adventurer reality. Right, which is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Like, I mean, come on, Christmas adventurer. Unbelievable.
So, just to context, I know you're spoiling the story, but but the Christmas Adventure Club is essentially the white supremacists.
It's white supremacists.
They're the Ku Klux Klan, but they call them the Christmas Adventure, and they make them ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like,
and they're like,
Hail Saint Nick, and they do this whole like Christmas tree salute.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's so stupid,
and it's so cartoonish.
But they take themselves so seriously.
Exactly. And what's brilliant is like so the entire plot, right? Because this actually came up when I saw someone online, was just like, well, why would Leo and his daughter continue to live at that house when the military?
They didn't live at that house.
And well, the thing is, like I was just like, there's two plots going on here, right? One is the Christmas Adventurers Club, right? That is a totally separate bunch of people, right? And that is about Sean Penn goes off the rails, goes to try to find his literal daughter, right? To kill her, so he can join the Christmas Adventurers, right? So in reality, the Christmas Adventurers Club and DiCaprio are sort of on the same side because they're both against Sean Penn. Like in the end, it's the Christmas. Yeah, like in the end, Christmas Adventurers Club wants to shut the whole thing down. Like they're like, Sean Penn is a liability. We need to get this all closed up. Right. This whole mess with his daughter is going to really mess us up. The other half.
But what was also interesting, so let me ask you this, because a part of the plot was a little iffy on me. When he goes to the town, did he go as a government person or as a mercenary of the Christmas Adventurer Club?
The Christmas Adventurer Club has so many military people in it that they are able to essentially, they have co-opted much of the military. Say, like, for instance, white supremacists have co-opted ICE, right? And so they have their own fucking thing going on. Like, this is all government funded, and it's all like under the banner of the United States military. But they are running their own missions for their own purposes, right? And so this whole half of the story is super heightened, very ridiculous, and totally cartoonish. And the villain is Popeye. Like, that's one half of the movie, right?
What was also interesting when you take the Popeye, because Sean Penn, fantastic actor, so over the top in this.
Oh my God.
He's a comic book character.
Yeah, he's just incredible.
Hilarious. Yeah. Hilarious. You juxtapose that with the guy who interrogates everyone.
Yeah. Stone cold. Yeah.
Stone cold. Yeah. Feels like a real person.
Yeah.
Like
this is,
like, absolutely. Oh shit.
And
that guy would be really.
This actually brings in some of our uncut gems and Marty Supreme conversation, because like because Sean Penn being so ridiculous, right, clears the way for all this big ridiculous plot to happen, right? And then these that guy you're talking about like comes in and is actually dangerous in a very realistic way, and that's when you're like, well, it's not like the Christmas Adventurers Club isn't actually as ridiculous as it seems on the face of it. Like, what we are living through right now is awfully close to this. Like, we are basically led right. Well, like our president is a cartoon character. Like ICE is this dangerous. Like it is really real. As cartoonish and silly as it is, we should take it very fucking seriously because these people are dangerous and violent. Like, and that guy, that's what that guy represents. It's like, this is like as
interesting.
As goofball as that may seem.
I didn't think of Trump and Sean Penn being the same cartoon.
They're the same type, characters. Right? And then and part of like, it's saying like this, like we don't take them seriously because they're goofball cartoons, but we should take them seriously. Like, because real things are happening. Right. And so like, this is what I love is the other half of the movie is represented by, what's his name? Wonderful actor, Three Small Beers.
Benicio del Toro.
Benicio del Toro is like, he is kind of a slightly cartoonish character, but he's in charge of a very realistic plotline.
Oh, he's so good.
Like, he is hysterically funny in this movie. He's absolutely brilliant. And like one of my favorite characters from him, period. Right. But his whole story is 100% realistic. Like this is about trying to get people, and like there's like he blows.
He says it. We're the Mexican Harriet Tubman.
Exactly. And like what is going on, what you are seeing is exactly like real life. Like this is very true, right? And so like he is leading this. This is a representation of like, okay, this is actual life. How do you deal with the stresses of actual life? Do you flip out like DiCaprio? No. Right. You treat it. You fight the battle every day because every day is a new battle. There's one battle after another. Like you can't get so freaked out and invested in whether or not the guy on the phone is going to let you use the password that you burn yourself out. Like you just have to keep on pushing through a little bit every single day.
I mean, first of all, it's brilliant acting, brilliant directing, and brilliant cinematography because these long takes, you don't even realize how they're going. Yeah. But it's just basically him going, next step, gotta go. Okay, you do this, you do that. Boom, boom, boom. Camera keeps following him.
It is. And movie.
He is so good because he's just like,
They handle
and
everything.
He's in control.
It's so perfect. This is the thing that like to detail the question you asked before is like, where does this stack up? Like I'm just like. At any given point, it's like with any of the greats, sometimes with, whatever, you pick Spielberg or Tarantino or whoever, like what's my favorite so-and-so picture? Ridley Scott movie, like I'll be like, sometimes it's Blade Runner, sometimes it's Alien, sometimes whatever, with this, like this will probably percolate towards the top a lot of the time, high possibility all the time. But I will say, I think it might be his most perfect movie. Like every choice. Yeah, well, in general for Paul Thomas Anderson stuff. Like I'm like, every choice, every edit, everything he does is the choice. Like I wouldn't have it any other way. Like there's other ways that you could do things, and there Will Be Blood or Phantom Thread, they're perfect 4-star films. But there's different ways you could do it. This I literally can't imagine any other way. Like this is exactly correct. To get everything he's going for, he gets everything out of it. It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we got to say, one of the best and most original car chases I've ever seen.
Fantastic. Since the 70s. Like that is up there with any of
the fact that you can make a car chase that good and no one does a turn.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
All you're doing is going straight.
Yeah. He just says this one great idea with the hills. He's like, I'm going to shoot hills on a long lens, and that's the tension. And you're like, okay. Yeah. And then you're in. And then you're just in.
And I was watching it again yesterday, and it was like, just to set people, it's basically it's in the desert. I actually know exactly what that road, I think it's actually Route 66 near 40 around the Arizona-California border. I'm pretty sure that's where that road is. Yep. Right, it's right in the Mojave, right? Yeah. So there's these rolling hills. This road is straight, but it goes over rolling hills. And as you get up and down, and so you just go up the hill, and then as you're going up the hill, you don't see the other side. So you go down, boom. And so in your rear view mirror, you don't see the other car if it's coming up the hill because it's behind the hill until it comes over, right? So it's just boom, boom, boom. And then when the car chase happens, it's just these two cars, and they're pretty far from each other. They could be up to a mile apart, right? Yeah. But because you're in the desert, it's just, you just basically kind of basically see it in the rearview mirror. But they're going as fast as they can in their cars to try to catch up to each other or to escape from each other. Yep. And that's all it is. And what he does is when that car chase starts, the music starts where it goes,
So good. Which sounds like when you're driving over tarmac and there's like the separations in the tarmac.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And then the best part is like, oh, he's gone. And she's looking in the rearview mirror, and then he comes over the hill, and then it's like, oh my god, it's so good.
And he's shooting this all on a really long lens, so all the hills are really
very
compressed.
long lens, so everything's compressed.
Yeah,
yes.
and so
and
like
low.
you're saying,
he puts the camera very low, so that the effect, so the effect is very emphasized.
It's so fantastic. Yeah, it is truly one like that's up there with French Connection or Bullet or any of the tip tops. Yeah, absolutely flawless.
But it's the most original concept because it's such a simple idea. Right?
Yeah.
And of course,
flawless.
Her idea of how to deal with the situation was brilliant.
And the thing is, like, this is gorgeous because, like, the setup of the scene isn't just clever, right? Isn't just a clever, simple way to make a great tense action scene. It is also symbolic of what the movie is recommended. Like I said, it's one battle after another. That's what you have to have the Benicio del Toro mindset. Right?
How do you get away from someone on a straight road with no turns?
Right.
That
the only thing that's like
miles
every
long.
day, it's like this is the cadence it's asking you to attack your life with. Like you're always in a battle every day, and here it is, day, and then one day it hits. Like that's what happens in this chase. You know,
right?
And like it's like it recreates the movie's statement as a car chase, you know, and it's like that kind of deep thinking about how your theme works is what produces great action sequences and character decisions and everything else. You know, really, just a stunning movie, and I haven't.
It's definitely going to make the final film for the best film. It may win.
Yeah, I think it's going to win. Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think it's really tough to beat right now. And the thing is, it actually turned out to be quite a good year. There's lots of very good films.
That's the thing that's so exciting now. I know people are like, "Oh, Hollywood's dead." It's like Hollywood is reborn, man.
Yeah, it is very clearly. And the thing is, like, because One Battle was not a cheap movie, but they spent their money very well. You know,
right?
And they made something that's going to make money for them forever. Like that is not going. That movie's not going to go away. You know, and I think that that's the thing is like if you're going to spend the money, like even just thinking in terms of business, like think studios have to learn to think long term again. Like, yes, you want the popcorn features, yeah, you want to like turn around the fun stuff,
yeah, but
like,
they don't.
But you have to make long term investments for things that because they're so good, you'll be able to sell the rights to the Blu-ray or whatever forever and ever and ever. Like you don't create like I always say, like imagine like for instance the Star Trek franchise, which is
I mean it is. You're right. I mean you're right. That One Battle After Another is highly rewatchable. Right?
Insane. Yes, exactly. And the thing is, like
Uncut Gems is harder to rewatch. But
it's true. But it's part of the value of the Safdie experience, which is long term a great investment. You know, like that, and like this is what makes you money. And so like, and when you look at franchising, like you have to think long term. Like you're not just trying to cash in right now. You're trying to make sure that you can keep on cashing in forever, right? And if you turn in something boring or repetitive or lazy, or you're just going to like, well, these fucking idiots will buy tickets anyway, then you never make that future money. Your IP goes away. All the billions you could have made go away because you're selfish now. That's dumb business. Like if you want an IP that goes forever and ever, then your responsibility is to keep on being great at it. And if you can't do it, don't do it. Otherwise, you kill the golden goose. And they've forgotten that up until this year, because right now they've created things that will last. You know, Sinners and Marty Supreme and all this stuff. Like these things are movies that will be remembered for a good long time. You know,
Weapons.
I'm sorry, giant hit with Weapons. You know, and like these are real investments in the future for their respective studios. And I think that we're to end up where we began. Like A24, the genius of A24 is that.
They invest in art.
Yeah, dude, like they know where the money is at. The money is in making good movies.
The thing is, they're business-wise, they've been smart, right? Because they're like, they knew they could do this at $5 million, $10 million films. They're like, then they sort of like, let's see how far we can stretch that. Can we go to 15? Can we go to 50? Can we go to 70 million and still make money? And they can. So they're just going to keep pushing it. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what goes on. But I really am hopeful that this turns things around, because I know everyone's so down on Hollywood right now. But I totally see the opposite.
They're like, at least A24, Neon, and associated companies. They see the way in. Like, they see the way to keep it going. And because people, like, it has definitely been proven, like, people do love going to the movies. Like, they just want something good to see. Like, that's the main thing, you know. And
now they're not making it. They're not going to make $1 billion on one battle after another. There's no way they could, right?
That's not
and
the
they
game.
Don't need to.
Nope.
They don't need to.
Right. Like,
they need to
bring your
make
scale down.
Movies. Right. You can make Zootopia for a certain crowd, and you can make One Battle After Another for another crowd, and that's okay. You don't have to make a movie that satisfies both camps.
Yeah. There's like, you will lose money when you do that. Like go after the right target and focus on it and do a good job. Then you get it back. Because I swear, like you, it's like I always say, man, like, take whatever new Star Trek property they offer. If you can imagine whatever the latest thing from Star Trek, imagine if that was the first Star Trek that ever got made. Would there be 60 years of Star Trek after that? No. Like, you have to make it as good as the first ones. Right. You know, Star Wars the same way. Like, that's the reason why you have this exploitable IP is because someone made a good movie once long ago. Right. Like, that's where the money comes from.
In a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, in a galaxy far, far away. Someone made good decisions.
And so, it's interesting. But, you know, that they didn't know they didn't know Star Wars was going to succeed, right?
Yeah, they just went for it. And not only that, very responsibly. I talk about Empire Strikes Back all the time. Empire Strikes Back is such a miracle because not only is it one of the greatest films, greatest American films ever, aside from Star Wars. Great screenplay, great, like, visionary production, unbelievable, all this stuff. Like, that movie doesn't give a shit that Star Wars exists. Like, they're not like, okay, well, we have to make Star Wars 2 now, so it's going to be Luke tries an X-Wing fighter to blow up a big cube this time instead of a ball. Right. Like, instead they're like, we're going to make an entirely new movie and everything you see in it is new, and we're going to make it more grown up, and it's going to be super emotional and very tragic, and it's going to end on a sad note. Like, that is a roll of the fucking dice when you just made $1 zillion off the first one. And by making that second one that way, like, I think that Star Wars is a great movie. The reason why you have the franchise is because people feel spiritually connected to Star Wars. That doesn't happen in Star Wars. That happens in Empire Strikes Back. After Empire is when people are like, this is the most meaningful thing I've ever seen in my life. And by coming even close to that, they've been able to sustain it. But rarely do they ever hit that quality mark. That's what
it's interesting. I rewatched Godfather 2 recently. And if you put Godfather 1 and 2 together, right, which are fantastic films, it's essentially a really good miniseries.
Yeah, totally. It's like a perfect Netflix run. Yeah, you're just like, this is it. Yeah.
You could, because it's about 7 hours total, right? If you put both of them together, you could make that into a 7-part series. It'd be fantastic.
Yep. Well, it's like you got me to watch The Diplomat, which I'm very thankful for because that is absolutely terrific. What I was so pleased is I watched the first 3 episodes. My wife and I love it. It's fantastic. And I looked up how many episodes there are per season. It's like 8. And then 6 and then 8. And I was like, oh, it's going to be good the whole time because they didn't overextend their welcome. Like, they're like, well,
no. They just
keep it
we
tight.
got a story to tell. Let's just tell it in 6 episodes.
Yeah, tell the story.
Right.
That's it. Like Roger Ebert said, man, there's no good movie too long and no bad movie too short. Right. Like, that's the way you got to go. And I feel like for studios, like A24 has made the best choices. The big studios are on rocky territory, just like AAA games. Video games are in bad territory now because they're so bland, nobody wants to buy them. AA games are the ones that are winning big and making lots of money. You know, that people want the creativity and vibe back. That's going to come from making big artistic swings. You get big artistic swings when you limit how much money you spend on something as much as you can, because then you can be risky. And
Up
when
to
you're
a point, right? Because what
Sure.
we're basically saying is like these two movies, One Battle After Another and Marty Supreme, those were bigger budgets
Yes.
than normally get used for these
but
types
they
of
were
films.
they were both made because of the people that made them, right?
Yes.
They kept
They were
thinking
they were tested. Yes.
they're like, we are going to make this as tight as when I made my first movie. Like,
Right.
we're going to come at it with, it's like, this is a classic Zen thing to say, is always approach with a novice's mind. You know, like if you want to make something truly great, you have to make it like you did the first time, because that's when you made all the right decisions. And if you
Right.
let it get bloated and you let it get away from you. Did you see, by the way, the Megadoc, the Megalopolis documentary?
No.
It's fascinating. I have not seen Megalopolis, and I have all the runway in the world to talk about how much I love Francis Ford Coppola. But the doc is a great counterpoint to the Apocalypse Now doc that his wife made, Hearts of
Right.
Darkness, because that movie is about a 36-year-old artist, like, and very few people, surprisingly few people, making a crazed film in the Philippines or wherever they're shooting Apocalypse Now.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like doing everything they could to keep the studio off their back. And they're just filming and doing the craziest shit they could because he had a vision. Right. Yeah. And in this movie, in Megadoc, making Megalopolis, he made a big deal out of saying, like, I don't want any studio, anything. This is all my money. I'm going to do it my way. But what he ended up doing,
pressure.
Yeah, like, exactly. What he ended up doing was essentially becoming the studio problem for himself.
Yes.
And I was just like, this is mesmerizing. He is doing everything wrong that he didn't want the studio to do. Everyone he's bringing in is making it harder for him to do this.
Right.
You know, and he's got all this money, and so he's spending it all to get everybody involved to do this thing. And the more he brings in, the harder it gets to get his vision out there. And I'm like, Francis, if you had done this for $5 million, you'd end up with a masterpiece instead of you sold all your wine.
Right.
You know, and I think that's the real lesson. You can make
what he wanted to spend his money on.
Yeah. Whatever your budget, man, make it like it's the last fucking dime in the couch. That's the whole thing.
Yeah. What was Boomerang? It's like, real movies, you need $270.97.
Yeah, dude, exactly.
Do you remember that line from Boomerang?
Yeah. Oh, the Steve Martin, Eddie Murphy movie. Yeah. It's unbelievably funny. Yeah, exactly. That's the truth.
Don't movies cost millions of dollars? No. That's after all the other stuff. If you want to make a movie from scratch, all you need is $275.69.
100% true. 100%. That is the correct mindset. And at any rate, that's the right mindset.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, this has been good. I think this is a good thing to know. Obviously, I think we're going to talk more. We're going to see more films like this. At least I hope we are.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a pattern that's continuing. This is, in a sense, and I feel this is reinforces what we've been saying about Hollywood, that it's going to get more interesting.
Do you feel reinvigorated? You feel reinvigorated?
I do. But I want to put this out because I know there's a lot of people that are hurting right now, right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of visual effects. I know there's some guy who just contacted me yesterday, got laid off, and I feel bad for him, right? Yep. And he's like, I need a job, help me find a job. And I know a lot of those people out there that have lost their jobs. There's going to be new jobs that are going to be taken by new people or people that decide to reinvent themselves in the new Hollywood, right?
Yep.
And it's not about a specific skill set. It's not about, I hate to say this because people say, oh, I don't want to have to be an AI prompter. That's not what this is about. Yep. You have to rethink the way you're thinking about creating films. And I actually think in many ways, you got to think about the way movies used to be made long ago. Before
100%.
Right?
Yep.
Because if you look at Paul Thomas Anderson, you look at the Safdie brothers, you look at what these guys are doing, they are operating the way that the rebels were operating back in the 70s. And we've said this a million times. That's why we have established in 71 on our logo for Monstrous Moonshine, because that's what it means, right? It means we're getting back to that. We're looking at that attitude. And the tools you use, just like in the 70s, whatever it takes.
Yeah. You get the job.
Doesn't
done,
matter.
dude. That's the making a movie. Make the movie.
Make the movie. And I think that the jobs that are going to be lost in Hollywood are the middlemen. There's too many middlemen.
Yep, that's right. That's just
So
true.
a lot of executives, a lot of agents out there that are like, well,
It's
I'm
a
not
bloated
selling
industry.
it. Go away, right?
Mhm.
Safdie brothers are not hiring a million actors. They're hiring a lot of interesting people.
Yeah.
They're treating the stars not as stars, but as characters,
Yep.
right? Kevin O'Leary is a
Yep.
character, right?
Yep.
He didn't get paid Tom Cruise salary to be in this
No.
film.
The Safdie brothers have the attitude, man. It's just like, the train's going this way, people. So if you want on, get on the train. We're not waiting around at the station for you to get on the train. Like, we're going.
Yeah.
And this is the nature, especially for filmmaking. I think of all art, but definitely for filmmaking, is like, if you have something to say, you say it right now with the tools that you have. That's it.
Right.
Anything else is a waste of time.
Yeah, it's such a great film, man.
Oh, it's great.
Both of these films were so cool. And so to me, this is just exciting. And so and like I said, I feel bad that people are suffering right now. I get it. I know writing jobs.
It's hard times.
My neighbor was a big writer, did a bunch of writing. And at this point he's like, I sat in writing rooms. That's what the whole culture was.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's no writing rooms anymore
Mm-hmm.
because everyone's working from home on Zoom.
Yep.
So the cost of writing rooms has gone way down because they're not basically paying for a conference room and a bunch of, takeout for you every day.
That's right.
to make something out, right? So like it's gone way down. So that means like, well, why even bother living in LA at this point, right? To be a writer. So that's changing. So I know it's hard out there, but I really truly believe that this is going to be like, people are going to experiment more. We're going to see more interesting films. And if you are a filmmaker and you have an idea, there's no better time than 2026.
This is it. And the thing is, man, like you don't have to wait around to get the perfect camera. You don't have to, like if you have a phone, you have a film. That's the way to look at it. Like that is the starting level, because there's ways to get it out. There's ways to make it. And you like, especially in trying times, you have something to say about it.
Right.
That's it.
Right. And we're like, you and I are working on a film, right? And I've seen many of my friends sort of have a great film, including you, right? When you had your spoiler, right?
Yep,
and you were pitching that your zombie film, right? You did your short, and they were like, this is great. It got a lot of attention, and you're pitching and pitching and pitching and pitching for years.
It's just like the thing is, everybody involved in that process, super fantastic. Like everyone I was working with to get that, trying to get that off the ground, absolutely fantastic.
They call it, by the way, there's a nickname for it for those in the industry. It's called the water bottle tour of LA, where you go from conference room to conference room. They offer you a bottle of water, and you pitch your thing to every studio, and they're like, I love it. Yeah. Maybe we can do this. Maybe we can do that. And it never gets kicked around. Yep. And that is asking permission to make your film.
Yeah, you can't do it, man.
That's
and the thing is, like, I don't have any bad feelings about any of the people I met because they're all very cool people, all very smart people. It's not like in the movies where you're Hollywood's just like that. Like, these are great people, all great people. But their role is to say no.
Like, I don't want to yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. They're the middleman. So if they say yes, they have to guarantee a success because otherwise they're screwed. Yep. So it's much lower risk to say no.
Yep. That's it.
Right. Which is funny because the way I think it's going to happen now, right? If you think about that, right? Like if you're a middleman, it's like, I have to say no most of the time because if I say yes and it doesn't do well, I'm screwed. Right. So here's where I think it's going to flip. I think it's going to become a lot more, right? At least this is where I hope it's going to go. I think it's going to become much more like a venture capital thing where there's a bunch of money out there and you have to invest it into something.
Yep.
It's more important that the money is in something than not in something.
Right.
So VCs out there are invest in a bunch of things because one of them is going to get 50x or 100x. Yeah. I know you can't guarantee that in a movie, but one of them is, and it'll make everything worthwhile. But having the money just sit in the bank, guaranteed is not going to do anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think now they're going to be like, let's take more risks with smaller budgets.
I think that's true, and I think that and even outside of the studio system, there's ways to get your stuff seen and that will put you on their radar, and that'll make it easier for you to make your next movie.
Yeah.
Like that's just the way you got to look at it. It's all like, it's just on you. And you have to, like, I think that everybody has to embrace that fact. Be psyched about that. Like, oh, I'm completely fucked. Excellent. Now I know who's in charge.
Right.
Like to paraphrase one of the great speeches about in filmmaking, the cavalry is not coming. Like it's on you. Get it done. There it is.
Don't ask permission to make your film. Just make it, right? Just do it and have it done. I know it costs money, but figure it out.
Yep.
Figure it out. Do it. And that's what we're doing.
Amen.
Yeah.
Right on, man.
So
But
we're
good
working on this
movies.
every day.
Good movies.
Yeah. So that's awesome. I'm glad we were able to cover that. And we will be doing more of these, I think, because I think they're worth it to be able to have some
Oh,
breakdowns.
it's a blast. Yeah.
of how
I
we
mean,
feel about
I think
film.
that the one of the great sources of energy for me creatively is talking about the movies I love. And so having the opportunity for us to do this is really, really special to me. So I hope that everyone else gets a kick out of it.
I do too. And also you and I jive on these things a lot, which is why we started a company together. But the other thing is when we interview people, but it's harder not to sort of just get into the conversation and just dominate and get excited about it. So it's nice to be able, like, at some point, just let loose.
Yeah, exactly. Or a free flag for a fly. Exactly. That's what we do. That's what it's about. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you, Daniel. And we'll catch you next time.
Awesome. Everybody.